Hey everyone, Gary Sibbs here, back with a couple more of my Cheltenham Festival 2020 anti-post selections. Go back and watch the previous videos, as I always say, to find out the bets that have gone on so far. I think we're up to video 5 now, and previous bets today. I'll quickly run through them for you before we get on with what we're doing today. Bet number 1, video number 1 had a double in it. That double was Tiger Roll for the cross country at 7-4 and Paisley Park in the Stairs Hurdle at 6-4. Like I explained at the time, it was a double I knew was going to come in on price. It was a banker for me. Those prices are no longer seen anywhere, I don't think. And yeah, that was bet number 1. From there, took a bit of a punt in the second one that Time Hill will turn up at the Ballymore. Still 50-50 on that one. Got a lot of people telling me there's no chance Time Hill will go there. I'm still staying positive on it that we'll end up getting the run in that one. And then the bet after that was another punt, but even more of a long shot for the Supreme. Again, still 50-50 if this one's going to turn up there, which will probably remain. And that's Asterion Phalange in the Supreme at 33-1. Then we had a treble. Trebles are always hard. Trebles are always hard to land in anti-post betting. The treble was Honeysuckle and the Champion Hurdle. Again, remains to be seen if Honeysuckle will end up there, fingers crossed. Benny Dido for the Mare's Hurdle and Min for the Ryanair. So that was that treble. And then the next bet was Lorena for the Marsh, which used to be the JLT. And then the final bet that we've had so far was Cashback for the Arkle. If you want to know my ins and outs, my details, my research as to them, please go back and watch the other videos. Subscribe if you want, you'll get, and click on that bell thing and you'll get notifications when new videos come up. Alright, on to today. 2 more bets for you today. Got to bet individual bets on this one. And the first one is in the Mare's Novice Hurdle. Now, a fairly newish race, a race that's only been going, I think it's 5 years, and it's over 2 mile 1 furlong on the new course for 4-year-olds and over. You get a £3 penalty in this if you have won a Class 2 hurdle or a Class 1 handicap hurdle, and if you've won a Class 1 standard hurdle, you get a £5 penalty. To my knowledge, I don't think there's any entered that will carry that penalty. So on to the stats. As I said, it's a fairly new race, so the stats in this one are pretty sparse. There's not over enough years. Like normally we have 10 or 12 years to look back on, but we've only got the 5 years on this, which is fine. You still get to find out a little bit on where we need to be. And the stats read, when I can find it, stats read as follows. It's 4 years it's been running, not 5, pardon me. So Willie Mullins has won this every year. All 4 years since it's been on, Willie Mullins has come away with the winner. The ratings of his winners have been 144, 147, 145. And then last year, we had a little bit of a dip because it was a massively surprise winner. We had a 50-1 winner last year. So a big shout for anybody who got that one. You'd have been laughing. The winners' form leading into the race I found quite interesting. Going back, starting with the oldest to the newest, they were the winner of the first year it was on was 2 from 2 wins from 2. Second year they'd won 4 from 4. Third year they'd won 2 from 2. And then again last year threw a little bit of a spanner in the works, but was still 1 from 2. So they've all come in with really good form coming into the race. Every winner's been age 5. The first 3 years the favourite won, and then last year, like I say, we shot in a 50-1 shot, which was a spanner in the works. So that's the only stats we can really pull out of this one. Onto the betting, and we can have a look at this. We've got At the top of the betting is Dolceta for Willie Mullins, 5-year-old. Won the last day in what wasn't a great race. I've just watched it back not long ago. Same owners as Lorena. Like I say, I wasn't too impressed with the race, but at the end of the day, these horses can only be what's in front of them. She ran well. The race didn't marry up to too much, but she only posted a racing post rating RPR of 126 that day. And when I get onto some of the others, you'll see that's 126 certainly isn't going to win this race. So she would have to improve. And for a best price 5-1 favourite at the minute. Moving on from there, we've got a couple of French horses that are in the betting that have ran once in France and then moved over to a yard. We've got one that's gone to Mullins' yard and one that's gone to Jessica Harrington's yard. We haven't seen them over here yet. I can only surmise that they're going to run at the Dublin Racing Festival or before. If they turn out to be some machines, the form from France, I don't think one of them is Lamaxi, who's gone to Willie Mullins', was third in its only run in France. So don't know what that's going to turn out to be. That's currently 7-1 though, so they must fancy it to be something. Someone must know something for it to be that short in the betting. And the other one was, when I can find it, Gin on Lime. Currently best price at 11-1. Won its sole start in France before joining Jessica Harrington's yard. Entered in the Juvenile Hurdle at the Dublin Racing Festival. It's only 4. So will be interesting to see how it runs in that race. I'll be keeping a close eye on it. But right now, I'm putting my anti-post bets on. If anything, that's going to end up being one for the final selections. So not for me for now. Other horses in there, we've got Royal Illusion, an 8-year-old for Willie Mullins. Scattered results all over the place. Although a couple of RPR ratings of 120 odd in bumpers, since going hurdling, best RPR rating's been 96, which nowhere near, so I'm leaving that alone. Not interested in that one. We have Floressa for Nicky Henderson. Very good horse. Really like this horse. 5-year-old, so fits into the form book that all 5-year-olds have won this race. Ran 3 times over hurdles, 2 wins, and not ran since November last year, so probably due out at least once more, probably only once more before the festival. Beat Jeremy's Flame the last day, and Jeremy's Flame was quite highly thought of at the time. And Jeremy's Flame, I'm saying there, it was quite highly thought of, and Jeremy's Flame is highly thought of. But when you go back and look at Jeremy's Flame's form, tongue twister, she always seems to find 1-2 good. So second's been a bit of a common thing for it. So maybe not the best form you can add up. Was only beaten a short head by Silver Forever of Nichols's at Newbury, but the next time out, I say it was beaten a short head. They raced again in the next race at the end of the month, about 30 days later, and Floressa reversed that form and won by 6 lengths over Silver Forever. And that day recorded an RPR rating of 141, which is getting up to where she needs to be to win this race. Would need her to progress on again, but I think that's the case with most of them. Not many of them have got the RPR rating in the book to win this race. I think there's only one. But a lot of them are progressive horses. You look back for the form and the ratings that they've recorded have been going up and up. And that's not, by the way, that's not the rating they've been given. That is the rating that they have ran in the race. So it doesn't matter what you rated. If you rated 140, you can still run to an RPR of 145, 150 in a race. So that's where I'm coming from with that. I haven't really mentioned, I don't think I've mentioned it all in my previous videos, and I don't really know why, because it is something that you're really, really worth looking at to judge how a horse is running a race compared to how a horse is running another race on a different track at a different time. You can go by the ratings. We have another another liked horse in there for me in Glancing Queen, 5th in last year's bumper at the festival, finishing 7 and a bit lengths behind Envoy Allen. No shame in that. Won the Mare's National Flat Race at Aintree after that, beating Manila Melody by 2.5 lengths, and recording an RPR that day of 1:21. Again, progressive. You know, I don't think that Glancing Queen has been seen this season. No, so we haven't seen Glancing Queen since April last year. So again, you've got to think that looking at her entries, at the minute I can only see entries for the festival, but there might be entries coming. The entries aren't closed yet for Dublin, so I would more than expect to see Glancing Queen there. Another one that could improve massively and would shorten right in the odds, obviously, if it comes out and puts a performance in anytime soon. Now, the Glancing Queen is currently best priced at 12-1. Enough that in there. So that's one of interest, and another one of high interest to me is Colreevy. Mullins is now, it's 7-year-old, so it goes against the grain a bit on that. 4 out of 9 overall, quite a lot of races under its belt. Second in her hurdle debut to Midnight Run, and won on its most recent outing, winning very impressively by 8.5 lengths over 2.5 miles. Now, mentioning this horse in case it turns up here, I don't think it will, and if it does, I'm posting this video now. If it does, this could quite easily end up being in my final pick selection, the bets that I'm going to put on when the declarations are known the day before. I'm totally convinced this horse won't turn up. So that is my sole reason for not betting it in this race. I think it's a fantastic horse. I think it's going to be really progressive. Go back and watch its race at Limerick. Really, really impressive. Really, really. I was over the moon with it. Like I say, 2.5 mile. You look at its entries. I'll bring its entries up here for you, which is telling me why it's not going to run. It's got an entry at the Dublin Racing Festival over 2 mile 6, and then but it also has an entry over 2 mile. So that's what I'm going to be waiting on mainly, is to see if it runs in the 2 miler at Dublin. You can maybe think, right, they maybe are going to go down the Mare's Novice route. But if it runs in the 2 mile 6, they can't be thinking of the Mare's Novice route. It's already got an entry in the Albert Bartlett, so maybe they're going to go down that route instead. And I'm thinking that that's where it'll end up. So that's my position on that one. We then have my selection. My selection that I had a bet on back in December at about 8 or 9-1, I think, is now into 6-1, and I think we'll only get shorter. This is Nicky Henderson's Mare's Rock. 3 from 3. Ran really well every time. Won, beat Midnight's Gift on its most recent win. Midnight's Gift was 2 from 2 going into the race. Good form to beat. That day ran an RPR of 136. Like I say, 136 won't be enough to win this race, but 136 will. And that brings me on to my selection. So my selection is a horse that I backed back in December as well, and a couple of bets I had, and I think I got 8 or 9-1, I'm sure, back then. Currently best price at 6-1, second favourite in the race, and that is Mare's Rock for Nicky Henderson. Really, really, really like this horse, and it's a really strong fancy. The more I look at it, the more I really fancy her to win this race. Yeah, so it's won 3 from 3 for Nicky Henderson, and the last day beat. Let me just bring this up. So yeah, on debut, on debut beat the Conman, who was coming into it 2 from 2, and then in most recent run, beat Midnight's Gift, who was also 2 from 2 coming into it. So good form, stacking up from both of her wins, and the last one was by 8 lengths as well. So it was a good solid win. Great ride. I've just watched it back again before this. Recorded an RPR of 136, which won't be enough to win this race, but has been massively progressive in each of her wins. She has gone up. RPR ratings have gone up like £10 more in each of her wins. So I have no problem thinking that she's going to step up again at the festival. So my selection for this is Mare's Rock, best priced at 6 to 1 currently, and it is a £30 stake on her to win. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. And the next bet we are going for is in the National Hunt Chase. A changed race this year for many reasons. First of all, it's been dropped down from what was a 4 miler to a 3 mile 6. Been a lot of complaints about this excuse me, this race down the years, and they've decided to do something about it this year and drop it down, and also change some entries for those that can run in it. The rules now, just read the rules out to you. You must be rated over 120. You must have run twice over fences. You must have finished in the top 4 in a race of 2 mile 7 or further. You must have run in a chase in this season. And the jockeys on your horse must have had 20 rides and at least 5 wins in to be able to ride in the race. So that's the rules that have just been set for this year. Normally see a really big field in this. You're probably going to see a more depleted field because of that. Less horses are going to qualify to get in, simple as that. Faheen is priced up in this. Faheen is very unlikely to be in it. A podcast that I was listening to today brought this one up, that Faheen has a choice of 2 races, and I can't remember what they are at the Dublin Racing Festival, and it's looking likely that he's going to enter the one that is 2 miler, I think, and that will mean that Faheen doesn't qualify, so can write him off, and I haven't considered Faheen in my anti-post betting of this race. Even if he is qualified, I don't think this is the race where he's going to turn up, unless, like I said when I was doing my anti-post betting for the race where was it yesterday's that I did? Let me have a look back. That many pages of notes, you don't know where to start. No, I can't find it. Leave it. Faheen's not gonna run here, I don't think. So, looking at the stats for the National Run, only 3 favourites have won this ever, and also they were quite a long time ago. In the last 6 years, no favourite has won this race. So this is one where if you can get it right, you can make a bit of money, and that even goes for betting on the day. Excuse me, I have a quick drink. So 10 out of 12 winners have been aged 6 to 8. 10 out of 12 winners had already won a race at 3 mile or further. All right. 10 out of 12 have been rated at 130 plus. However, again, more recent times, in the last 5 years, the ratings have been 145, 150, 152, 143 and 146. So, 143 up over is really where you need to be. And as far as the stats go, that's pretty much all we've got. So let's go on to the betting. Got two fairly closely priced favourites at quite a way ahead of the market compared to the rest in the race. The first of them being William Mullins' carefully selected 8-year-old, so fits into the category of the stat that 10 to 12 winners have been 6 to 8. And he is 3 from 4, 3 wins from 4 races, and they've been at 2 mile 4, 2 mile 5 and 2 mile 6. The worrying part, and this horse is quite heavily fancied. A couple of the sort of professional tipsters are really putting this one up. Like I say, his 3 wins have been at 2 mile 4, 5 and 6. You generally have to have won at 3 mile or more leading up to this race. Now, I don't know if carefully selected is going to run in a 3 mile plus between now and the festival, but right now the only result we can take is the 1 3 miler that he run in. He finished 3rd, worst result of all of his races, and that day he was beaten by 2 good horses in Manila Indo and Allure, and he ran before that he ran a Racing Post rating of 153 at Punchestown and 147 before that. So 2 really high ratings, but again over the shorter distance. And without seeing evidence that horses can do it over this distance, it's really hard to think and believe that they're going to come and turn up and do it at the festival. And I can't be having a favourite of best price 5 to 1 coming and winning when there's no form there to show that. The other close one in the betting is Champagne Classic. Champagne Classic was it's Gordon Elliott, 6-year-old, was beaten 1 length by Battle Over Doyen at Leopardstown in between Christmas and New Year. But this horse, to be fair, has everything that you would look for in a stayer. Form at 3 mile would again worry me a little bit. Although he hasn't won, the good point is if you were to back Ante Post, if you'd have got him at a bigger price than this, he's never been out of the top 3 in any of his races. Full stop, bumpers right up to present day. So likely to be there or thereabouts. I think I might have got. I'm pretty sure this has actually one race at 3 mile, and the rest of them have been seconds or thirds. And I know second or thirds not a terrible result, but just finding 1 or 2 too good regular is a bit of a worry for me. But yeah, never out of the top 3. Now this horse, like I say, is coming massively in price. I think I saw somebody on one of the Ante Posts maybe even got this at double the price or more, 15, 16 or 1 earlier on, which would have been a great each way bet considering it's never been out the top 3. But at 6s now, I'm going to be leaving that one alone. Then again below that, you've got a load of horses that we don't know if they're going to run here. Like I say, Fane is in there at, actually you can get Fane at 20s now. For me, not going to be there. I've picked out a couple that I do like, rather than going through the full list. A lot of horses entered here, or not entered, but in the prices. Danny Whizbang is a horse that I think is a proper stayer, and really could turn up and excel in this race. Won at Hereford over 3 mile, 1.5 furlongs, so has done it towards the distance. Has ran at a Racing Post rating of 150. The last day at Kempton, he ran at a 140. However, go back and watch that race. You can totally forgive the result, the place. Finished 3rd, but a 19 length 3rd, I think it was. But you can totally forgive that race. Master Tommy Tucker fell right in front of him, about 3 from home, I think, something like that. Completely in his tracks, completely upended him, completely put him off his stride. The others got in front of him, he lost a bit of ground and he had to work really hard. He actually did really well to get back onto the front pair, but by the time he got back onto the front pair and they put the gas down for the finish, that made him tail off. He'd done his racing getting back on. But he's a proper stayer, I totally forgive that, and he will be in the mix of things here. So yeah, experience at 3 mile. He's had 4 runs. He'd won 3 on the bounce leading up to that last one. Was beaten by Slate House on Black Hop that day. Again, even if he was to get beat without those circumstances, they're not so bad horses to be beaten by. Those horses are rated 157 and 156, so nothing wrong with that. Like I say, I was going really well until massively impeded. Excuse me. So yeah, that's a horse I really like. That's it. That for me will be right in the mix of things. Master Tommy Tucker's in there. This horse is one way or the other. He has ran an RPR of 152. We'd put him right in the mix. He fell the last day, like I say, when he totally impeded Danny Whizbang. He has fallen twice in his last 3 races. He has ran 5 times all in all. He's won 3 and fallen twice. So he either falls or he wins. Now, I can't be sticking my money on someone who's fallen twice in the last 3 races. I just gone back and watched. There's not been any real reason for him to fall. Just poor racing, poor jumping, and I can't be taking that over so many hurdles in such a long race. I just think he'll end up on the deck again. So I'm leaving that one alone. And the other one of interest for me is Kim Bailey's 2 for Gold. This 7-year-old. Let's have a look. I haven't wrote that down. Just let me check that. What I'm going to say is right. Yeah, that's right. Won at 3 mile the last time out, and it was a close finish against Hold the Note. Hold the Note's a highly regarded horse, and has won his last 3 races. So we had a win at Warwick only last week. We had a win at Kelso in December over 2 miles 7.5, and we had a win at Carlisle in November. So 3 wins this season. This horse is a half brother to the Grand National entrant and stayer Holywell, and that's so the staying ability is in his breeding. Also half brother to Sausalito Sunrise, who both of them, Holywell as well, have had wins at over 3 mile to the name, with the latter winning a 3 mile 3 at Cheltenham in the old Murphy Group handicap chase. And 2 for Gold's granddad is Sadler's Wells. So excellent breeding. He's got staying ability in his breeding. And yeah, won his last 3, ran an RPR of 152 the last day. Likes to go right gallop. Stays like a trooper. Likes to lead. Has liked to be out front most of his races. What I liked though was the last day, there was a couple of them in there that liked to lead, and he never got to lead. But it didn't affect his game, didn't affect his race. Still got out there and ended up winning. It was a close race against some decent kinds, and some decent kinds as in one, as in Hold the Note, and they raced a real hard fought race to the end, and he got in front and showed real grit and determination to win that race. So yeah, I really like that, and for that reason, I narrowed it down to them 2, Danny Whizbang and 2 for Gold, and I think it'll be them 2 battling it out. But I am going to go with 2 for Gold to win the National Hunt Chase, and I am going to place a £15 each way bet on 2 for Gold at 16 to 1 for the National Hunt Chase. So yeah, just to clarify, the first bet today was in the Mare's Novice Hurdle, and my bet was Mare's Rock. To be honest, probably should have put more money on that than I have done, because I really fancy it. But I'm saving some of the pot for other races. So we've got a £30 stake on Mare's Rock. And then in the National Hunt Chase, Kim Bailey's 2 for gold. I am putting a £15 each way on at 16 to 1. So that's 2 more bets in the locker, in the portfolio. We have now, of the £500 pot, I have now spent £345. So we're starting to get up there a bit. And a few of these bets after today might not be quite so strong fancies. Unless there's, I haven't had a look through everything yet. There's a couple of races I know I'm going to do next, probably tomorrow. I want to try and get them done before the weekend, because I think there's a couple of races on the weekend where prices might change. So yeah, if you've enjoyed them, give us a like, give us your comments. Always willing, you'll see I've been chatting to some of the guys that have commented on previous videos. Always like to hear where you're coming from and info you might have that I haven't seen. I do a lot of digging, but you know, there's stuff I miss as well. If you are backing them, good luck. I hope it can bring you some money, and I will see you on the next video.